Hey guys, Bearded Bricks bringing you guys another set review. Today we have the first set of the Maywave set 75378, which is available now at your Walmart if you're lucky. My Walmart had just converted to all, the doing the whole self-checkout stuff. So apparently now you can now buy Lego sets early at self-checkout. I don't know if this is a hiccup or if it's something that's becoming a new normal for them. Maybe my store just doesn't care anymore. I'm not sure. But what can I say? This set is $30. It is the exact same price as the Final First Battle Pack from years ago. And, is it worth it? We're going to go through the build. We're going to go through the figures and some comparisons that I'm going to make between other sets that we have released recently and some mocks that I have. And then we'll really, start tearing this one apart. Because I feel like this might be a very divisive video, or, it might have some people feeling a certain way about it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So moving the box aside here, you guys can see that with this set, you obviously get the lamp. You guys get Kelleran Beq. You get Grogu in his hover pod, which, I'll be honest, is the most significant part of this build, being that the functionality is you're able to put Grogu onto, if you don't put the crystal thing on like I have, you can actually put Grogu on the bark speeder with sidecar and move it like this. It's actually very reminiscent of the droid chase from about a decade ago with Rex and Obi-Wan, in the fact that it's almost the exact same bike build, almost. It's very similar to that old set, which is now arguably one of the more expensive, as far as sets goes, set. The color scheme is very much Old Republic, or Current Republic rather. Old Republic is in former Republic after the Imperial stuff. Very much takes place during Order 66. If you guys haven't seen the Mandalorian Season 3, definitely worth it. Go see it. Grogu can come off, and he comes with actually a small see-through clear piece, and he just sits there. Definitely really cool that they gave us this. And then you get two 501st Troopers. They are not the same 501st Troopers that came in the battle package. You guys can see here, I have the new ones, which do have helmet holes. So not only is it a reprint of the 501st that we got a couple years ago, they have changed and they no longer have helmet holes, which, I understand using the no helmet holes for a year, maybe 2 years, and then going with this route so that they can make other characters instead of having two helmet molds. I just think it's very weird that they would just get rid of that mold altogether. Typically when Lego swaps out figures and they do different molds every couple of years, it's happens every 5 or 6 years from what I'm tracking. It's very interesting because why wouldn't you just keep producing the same molds again and again? Obviously, they have limited factory space and limited on what they can do resource-wise, and they have to plan their sets out so far in advance. It's just very interesting that they wouldn't keep these, because this is an item that they're going to be making a lot of. They should have looked forward to events that are coming up, Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, etc., and said, hey, we're going to need this, and let's have this quality figure, and then just give it for the commanders, and the regular clone troopers can have the no helmet holes. And it's just very interesting that they wouldn't have thought this far ahead, as they are a billion-dollar company. So bark speeder, great. The clone troopers, we've had them before in a better form, but they are solid. And then more importantly, you get Kelleran Beq and Grogu. It's the same Grogu we've had the entire time. It's Grogu. His cart's awesome. And Kelleran Beq, aka Jar Jar Binks, in his human Jedi form. Very cool. I'm happy that he got a figure. I'm glad that his scene, which is arguably one of the best parts of Mandalorian Season 3, did not just get overshadowed by Lego, and they took notice and they made this, even though they hate the Phantom Menace and the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith. So very cool set that we've got to build. Like I said, the only real build here is Grogu's pod, the bark speeder, and the lamp. So the build, you build it in 25 minutes, if that. The time lapse that I did was about 20-25 minutes, and it's good. It's a solid build. I anticipate people are going to be doing a lot of color swaps of this to compare it to the 501st speeder. Myself, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the 501st Republic bricks and the current set. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. Okay, guys, so the first speeder bike we're going to be going through here is Kelleran Beq speeder. As you guys can see, we have the Coruscant Republic colors, the white and red tried and true. The sidecar does come off. As you guys can see here, I can turn it sideways for you and just pull it off. And those pieces, if you want to pull them out, you can. And then when you want to, you can just reattach them very easily. So very good build, solid all around. However, I will tell you, it is basically the same build from a couple years ago. Let me go ahead and get this sidecar off so I can show you guys. All right, guys, so having removed the sidecar, as you guys can see, it attaches to these two Technic pieces here. And rotating it around for you, and then comparing it to the 501st one here. Obviously, they both have stickers. They're not perfect sets, but you can see that even down to the treads on the sides, they're pretty much the same. It's actually funny. They've actually used less parts for this speeder than they did a few years ago, and the set is the same price, which I find just crazy. So for context, they've used slimmer down parts for the top build here. As you can see, the top here goes out about to where your head sits. And then on the bottom, you can see that they actually, let me get a little closer so you guys can see, they use a lot of smaller pieces to make the bike have a lower like center of gravity or lower seating angle or point for the character, which it makes it cool as far as like accuracy, as far as world stuff, it's cool. But then like with this, they used 5 pieces for the bottom piece here, and obviously it has a lot higher like standing position, but I feel like it sits better. I feel like this is more of like a displayable thing, while this is more like it's gonna fall over or shift. So there is that. Additionally, the nose is different too. So we have a sloped down plate here in the front next to the stud shooters, and here we have a actual 1x2 slope on the front of this speeder bike as well. Obviously you could say, oh, well, one's made for combat and one's not, and obviously the handles are different. You know, this one is has like actual handlebars, while this one has the like Technic droid hands. And I mean, you know, one has blasters and one doesn't. I think that, you know, comparing a battle pack to a same priced actual playset is very strange, but it's very interesting to see how Lego and other providers go about making these, because like both of these are made by Lego and they're both pretty much the same, but I can see where Lego has cut corners to make this difference. Like these two white 2x1 Technic plates here on the side probably are supposed to have a 1x2 plate on it that I forgot, but from what I understand, no, even on the box over here, they are just like the leg holes for, or what they're supposed to use to get onto the build. I don't know why this isn't just a 1x2 white plate. I think the flush flat side, or more of like a snot build for this is good. The nose is pretty much exactly the same, minus the white and the blue. Definitely very interesting in general, just as far as the build goes. Now, moving this to what mock builders have used, the mock one is the same colors. Obviously, one is Coruscant, while the other is the Snow Troopers of the Galactic Marines. But obviously you can see where, you know, one uses a lot of white, one uses a lot of red, but the build is very similar to the 501st one, which is like, still we have the slopes or the skis, and we have the side build as well on this. And this is from Republic Bricks, FYI. If you want to see more about this set, I recommend you watch the review of it. Probably one of my oldest videos at this point that I probably should remake or update. The handles are obviously different. So it's interesting seeing how all three of these are different. Whereas this is like $50, this is $30, this is $30. And now with the Bark Speeder coming full circle in arguably a more or equally priced set, and you get less in it, I just find it very strange, because whereas the price point comes with an ATRT and this, and you get more droids and more clones, now you just get a whole lot less. And I don't think that has to do with inflation. I think that's just, you know, it is what it is. I think it might be greed. So we're not going to be going through Grogu or the Clone Trooper. We're going to be talking about just Kelleran Beq here. And so if I can get rid of this reflection here, you guys can see that Kelleran Beq has his face print on the front, no back face print, but he does have a torso and a leg print, which is a really nice Jedi robe, I will mention now that I'm looking at this closely. He also does have some stuff on his back to fully complete his attire, and his brown cape from the same scene. Wish we could get more capes and commas for everybody. I remember when ARC Troopers used to get them. And then his two lightsabers, which honestly, you know, they're lightsabers, they're great. I think this figure is awesome. I'm really glad Lego is making this, and then they also with the R2KT that's coming out as well. I think that's great. I think Lego should make more obscure figures from lore and from fiction, because they have a really great platform to do that. I'm not saying I don't mind clone troopers, but you know, I would rather get like named clone troopers than not named clone troopers. Obviously, I do build an army and I have a ton of stuff, but you know, my opinion says I like getting, you know, one-off characters like this or Saw Gerrera. Let's hope the 20th anniversary actually shows that. So, getting back to the whole set. All right, so now that we're done going over the figures, we're going to talk about just my final thoughts in general. Additionally, the Bad Batch speeder is the same with the 501st as well. Just saw it on my shelf and thought I'd say something as well. So, is this set worth $30? I would say yes to buy one just to have it in your collection. I think there's nothing wrong with this set. However, it really boggles my mind how, you know, how much something can change in price, at least from a couple years ago. The one thing I will say that is like super cool about this set is that we now have a play set available that fits with the Coruscant Guard gunship. So you could have these chasing Kelleran Beq, or you could have them like talking before everything goes down at the Jedi Temple. It really does, the sky's the limit as far as what you can do with this when you're making a Coruscant style set. I think that's great. As far as the price goes, I would have loved to get maybe one more clone trooper. I'm not saying make it an army builder, because like obviously Lego is not trying to make a set that appeals to army builders. They're trying to make a set that appeals to everybody. And I think for a cheap playset or a cheaper Lego playset, I think it's fine. I think it's a good set. I think it's worth people to have it in their collection. Even having the figure for the scene that he was in, it's a monumental milestone, at least somewhat in my age. Obviously, I grew up with the sequel trilogy. I grew up with Phantom Menace, and I grew up with Attack of the Clones, all the Clone Wars, and Revenge of the Sith. And I think this is a great scene that redeemed a character that really was done dirty by George Lucas. Or a person that was done dirty by George Lucas. I'm hoping we see more of him. I'm hoping we don't see like a ton more Lego sets with him in, because then I would feel like it would diminish his character, kind of like Mando. I feel like Mando's in every single Mandalorian set, which I get it, it's his show, but like there are other characters in that show. So is this set, like, is there anything I can say that's like, that I'm like hypercritical on? I think the lamp is cool. The lamp is probably one of my favorite things that they built. I love the memes that people are making about it. And Grogu's pod. Grogu's pod is really cool. I know that people have made mocks for it online, but it's really cool that Lego found an avenue to provide one to us and an additional really cool figure. But as always, I've been Beer Bricks. I would love to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment below, let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to see all my future notifications. And I will see you guys in the next one.